Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. John Owen talks about sports and movies. Thank you for checking out today's video. I always appreciate the support. Let's get into it. So, this past Friday on the 11th, Prime Video came out with a movie adaptation of the book Red, White, and Royal Blue, one of my all-time favorite books ever. And I really thought it was a really solid adaptation of the book in a really interesting way. And I'll break that down here in a second. But make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe so you never miss out on any of the fun. Leave your thoughts down below about what you thought about the movie. If you've read the book, what do you think about the book? And let's have some good discussion in the comments. If you really feel like strong enough to leave that. But I am issuing a spoiler alert for both the book and the movies. I'll mainly focus on the movie. I actually won't dive too deep into spoilers of the book, just in case you actually want to read the book. But there will be spoilers for the movie. But without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, I think that there are two different ways to look at this movie. You can either look at it as purely a film without any knowledge of the source material it's adapting, and as an adaptation of the original source material. I do think that it's not like as purely as like making sure you get kind of everything that makes the original source material great. I don't think this movie does a perfect job. They cut out pretty much anything that does not relate to the relationship between Henry and Alex. So, the plot with Raphael and June is gone. There's a king instead of a queen, which doesn't really affect anything, but um, more of Beatrice's backstory, and things of that nature, are not present in this film. Um, but you know what? Honestly, I think that does this movie capture the core of what this book is about the love and relationship between Henry and Alex? Yes, and it does it in an exceptionally well. Really, truly, it does. Um, And so I think that's when we look towards a movie. And as a movie, I loved it. I didn't love, some of the things they left on the cutting room floor, but I understood because every change made was in service of focusing on this relationship and having this sort of representation in media. And I think that is a very, I honestly respect the creative decision. I love the direction that they took it. And I honestly am okay with the changes that they made because the book is still there. So if I want to dive into all of that, of course the book is still there, and I always have the book. Um, but I think every change they made was to the benefit of the movie. I think that this definitely could have been a series, a limited series, definitely, no question. Um, there are rumors that it was originally 3 hours long. I would love to see the director's cut. No question. I would love to see the full version of the song because I felt like maybe it um got into more of some things in the book that I think that if this movie was 30 minutes longer, I think they would have really been able to capture almost everything in the book, pretty much to a T. The book's not that long. It's really not. Um, But that's okay. That's okay. Honestly, I'll take it. I'll take it. But what this movie does so incredibly well is capture the essence of what makes Henry and Alex's relationship so special and so meaningful to the viewer and to me. First off, I think the casting was out of the park. I was a little skeptical at first when I first saw like the first photo, um, but I think that and I Nicholas and Taylor. I think they play a great Alex Claremont Diaz and Henry, Edward, James, Fox. Like whatever his really long name is. Um, I think they really capture them perfectly. Both like from a personality standpoint and um, I think they crush it. I think they absolutely nail it out of the park. I think this is one of the most interestingly shot movies I've kind of seen. Honestly, like the way that this movie's filmed, it's so intimate. I felt like I was there with them in every single scene. I just got to like really, really hone in on. I mean, I literally felt like I was there in the room with them, especially during some of their like very, very intimate scenes. Um, what I think that this movie does better than the book is I think because the book is told from first person from Alex's um, viewpoint, so we don't get to see kind of Henry just absolute pain and demise he goes through when the emails get leaked. But we get to see that in the movie because it's not just told from first person. And we get to spend, there's a scene where Henry and B walk through the garden, and the B's like, "Do you love him?" And he's like, "Would it matter even if I did?" That's such a powerful line, but we don't get to have that type of interaction in the book because the book is told completely from Alex's point of view. And so I think it was a really cool way that they did that. I think that was a really smart. I think it was really cool to be able to spend time with both Alex and Henry. Even if I think Alex has a little more screen time, but I think that it feels very, very even. Um, there's some small changes from the book that I could sit here and like nitpick relentlessly, but I'm not going to sit here and do that. I'm not going to. Um, I thought the banter was very funny in this movie. The intimate, sensual scenes are very well done and very good. It was great to see that type of representation on screen. Um, and you know what? I honestly really think that this movie just is a really great story about two people that are in love with one another. And it represents, it's a great step. This and Heartstopper and Young Royals, are all really great representation of the queer experience. In kind of different ways. They all kind of highlight and showcase different parts of that. But it's really great to see this new wave of media really be focused on all of that. Um, I really love the movie. I'm trying to think of things that I also just really liked about it. Um, the way I'm gonna come back, Skippy. Sorry, my roommate's cat is trying to get in. Please go away. Thank you. Um, but like the scene where on the phone with another, and they are like sitting there with each other, but they're not actually there, because they're like across the ocean or whatever. I think that was a really beautifully shot scene. Um, when they are dancing and like everyone else drops and they just stare at each other, really beautiful. There are some lines that are ripped straight out of the book that I love. Some of my like favorite lines in the film or lines that Alex and Henry say to each other. There's just some like really sweet moments when they go to the museum, when um whenever Alex calls Henry and he says baby, that literally melted me. That melted my entire heart. It was just so beautiful. I'll break the sound barrier for you. When they get into the fight and the discussion, like in the manor before they go to the museum, that's a really beautiful scene. I just think every scene where they interact with one another is so stinking good. Their chemistry is off the charts. Even when they weren't saying anything, just the way that Henry and Alex look at each other, I just think it's just great, super powerful acting. And I think this is a really powerful movie. I really am obsessed with this movie. I cannot stop thinking about it. I'm probably going to rewatch it tomorrow or in the next couple of days. And I absolutely loved it. So overall, the movie captures the core of what makes the book so great. The love between Alex and Henry is so real and so genuine, it's truly endearing. While they did cut a lot from the book, every change was made in service of focusing on telling a very positive queer story with queer experiences. Rating 9 out of 10, I do have to knock it a point because it did cut out a lot, but as a pure movie, I loved it. And I think it's an adaptation that does it justice in an interesting way that some adaptations don't tackle the original source material, but it's great. If you haven't seen it, please go watch this. It's really good, and I think it's a really powerful learning tool. But thank you for checking out today's video. I always appreciate the support. Make sure you guys check out the link content above and like, comment, subscribe so you never miss out on any of the fun. I really appreciate each and one of you that watches these videos, and I hope you have a great day.